Hello, I'm Michael Slotin, and I'm in my beautiful studio, and in here I usually help people that are in pain, chronic musculoskeletal pain. If you've been suffering from chronic pain and you're looking for hope, there is hope, and you can resolve your pain even if you've suffered for a long time. If you've had back pain or neck pain or knee pain or foot pain, I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about how you can become pain-free. And the first thing that I'd like to say is that I am sorry that you're in pain, and I think this will be helpful to you. I'd like to explain how it is and what pain is doing to your body. And once you understand what pain is, what's happening in your body, then you can actually come up with a protocol to resolve the pain. If you don't understand what's going on with pain, then you will miss one of the elements, one of the key elements to actually solving the pain. So the first reason, and we could go into a discussion of which comes first, the chicken or the egg. Is it that you have your posture is not good? Or you've had an injury that makes your posture not good. But regardless of that argument, let's just say that it is a requirement to be pain-free for your load-bearing joints to line up. And so your ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders have to be in a straight line. That way they can support your structure. Also, they have to be level. That means your hips have to be level, and that your shoulders have to be level, and your knees have to be level. And so when you have this posture where that your ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders are in a straight line and level, then you'll be pain-free. But there is a second element to this that's sometimes overlooked, is that the spine has to be in balance. The curves of your spine have to actually be equal. And that's kind of like the requirements of the joints. So if your head is forward and there's a lot of tension in your thoracic back and upper cervical, then that's going to change the curve of your low back. And your curve in your low back is not going to be symmetrical and balanced. So a second element that has to exist in order to really be pain-free is that your load-bearing joints have to be equal and your spine has to be equal and balanced. So the distance of the curve of your neck that's lordotic has to be the same as the lordotic curve of your lumbar, and the curve of the mid-back and the curve of your sacrum area has to be equal and balanced. In addition to that, there needs to be balance between the left and the right side of your body. Now, if I talk about balance, which I think really also is a component to being pain-free, I'm not talking about picking up one leg and seeing how long you can stand there. I'm talking about, does the tension on the right side of your body equal the tension on the left side of your body? Is the tension on the outside of your leg the same as the tension on the inside of your leg? And what about your neck? Is the neck short and tight, pulling your head forward, and then forcing the capitis muscles to look up? So now you have tension in your neck that could be causing pain. So what we need is a balanced tension on the fibrous tissues of your body. So a lot of people are starting to talk about fascia, and fascia is the covering of the muscles that allow the muscles to do work. So the muscles contract, but if the fascia wasn't covering them and going to the joints and through the joints, then when they did contract, it wouldn't pull your joints in the direction that allow you to move. So the fascia is very important, that they are maintaining the even and equal distribution of tension throughout the skeleton frame. So that's very important that we're staying balanced. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, that's the state that you need to be in order to be pain-free. Okay, so that's our ideal goal, is to move you towards being balanced, okay, and being structurally sound. That means your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders are lining up straight and are level, and the curve of your spine is also in balance. Okay, so now that's the state. How do we get you to that state? We have to understand that if you are having pain, let's just say back pain, then the muscles in your back are going to respond to that pain by shortening and tightening. Now, if I did, excuse me, I'm not really trying to show off, but if I do a bicep curl, then I have this fabulous wiring in my body called the Golgi tendon and spindle fibers that force my triceps to relax so that I'm not working against the opposing muscle. And so this allows you to run. So when you're running, you'll contract your quadriceps, and soon after you extend your legs and you have to flex your knee, then your hamstring turns on and your quadriceps has to relax. So this is an automatic neurological response. Okay, so I'm explaining this because when your muscles are tight, then the opposite muscles are weak, and that causes a problem with your balance. I'm talking about balance with the tension between the right side and the left side of your body. In addition, if I was working my biceps until they were burning with pain and I could not do another repetitions, the reason that I can do 3 repetitions with no pain, but by the time I get to 20, I'm unable to do another repetition, is because the volume of lactic acid building in a specific area will create pain. And usually when you stop the exercise, the pain is immediately evacuated by blood flowing into the area. The lactic acid then turns into carbonic acid, which turns into carbon dioxide, which you exhale. And that's why when you run, you go, well, that is because carbon dioxide is coming out. More than you need oxygen, you are actually breathing out, which is forcing inhalation. So it's just an amazing process. But this is important in terms of how you are feeling pain, and the fact that you need to understand that when you have pain, your muscles will tighten, shorten, and then it will not let go. And those restricted muscles then are causing lactic acid to build up. And now you have pain caused from this tightness of muscles, the lactic acid in the area. Now, in addition to the lactic acid building up, which is a second cause of pain, then you have an immune response. And that immune response is simply that your body will send a message to the mucus lining of the tissue, and the mucus will, the tissue that produces mucus will then, instead of producing mucus, then it'll throw out collagen. And collagen is a real tiny little sticky strand of tissue. And that sticky strand is produced, in my mind, to help you create an internal cast so you stop moving and you can heal. And when this immune response happens, your body throws out collagen, sticks everything together. It sticks tendons to tendons and tendons to nerves, tendons to blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. And then you have a restriction of blood flow and lymphatic flow. And that restriction in blood flow and lymphatic flow is what Chinese medicine calls a blockage in qi, and then they believe treating that is the best way to relieve pain. And that's what I treat as a massage therapist when I try to break up that adhesions. Those adhesions are actually scar tissue formed from the muco lining of the tissues. So this scar tissue has to be addressed. If you do not address it soon after it starts to be laid down, then your tendons become aggravated as you move, and you actually will start to have tendonitis. So this is what I normally see when people come to me with chronic pain, is that they have imbalances because they have postural deviations that is causing pain. They have tight guarded muscles, which is restricting movement and causing weakness to the area. And then you have an immune response that is actually preventing you from moving because the fascia it's being bound, and you have adhesions, and that then causes tendonitis. So you have those elements to deal with, and I would like to help you unravel this in a manner that is logical, so that you can really be pain-free again and open up the possibilities of enjoying the sports and activities that you have long enjoyed. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can be pain-free, and I would love to show you how. So please stay tuned. My next video is going to be actually how you perform exercises so that you can overcome these sequences of cause and effect. So thank you for watching. I hope everybody that's watching becomes healthy, wealthy, and wise.